Hello, everybody. Just thought I'd share a little story about time when we had a little cottage west of Red Deer, Alberta, and near Caroline, Alberta. And I'd taken my young son of, I believe, about 2 years old. He was born in 93, so it was probably 95. We went out in the winter time, and our little cottage was basically a bedroom with a wood stove. We had an outdoor lean-to type kitchen with a big fire pit in front of it, all roofed in, and we could stay fairly toasty warm in there while we were, making dinner and having hot chocolates and marshmallows and things like that. Anyway, it was just the two of us and our dog. It was a Bouvier, and quite a protective dog of the children for sure. We had dinner, and we were roasting some marshmallows and watching the fire, and we could hear the coyotes, yipping in the distance. And it's in the Clearwater River Valley, so it's all basically poplar trees with a few spruce and pine mixed in. So anyway, we were sitting around the fire in the dark. In the wintertime, it's dark about 6 o'clock out here in Alberta. And we were sitting around and enjoying the fire, and the boy was, telling me his, silly 2-year-old little stories. And the dog was just kind of laying on a blanket, enjoying the fire. And we started hearing the brush and the snow crackling around us. And the coyotes kind of quieted down, but we could kind of hear movement, and the dog perked up. And he was kind of not leaving us, but he was pacing around the fire and kind of doing a little moaning and whining and whatnot. And I thought, what's going on here? There's coyotes seem to be coming in and checking us out, but we had a pretty good sized fire going, seeing how it was winter. Anyway, we were sitting there, and then the dog just kind of came up, and this dog was never one to do this, but he was pulling on my coveralls and pulling and whining. And the cabin was maybe 20 feet from the outdoor kitchen area. He would run up and sit on the little porch we had. There was only about, big enough to kind of take off your boots before you went in. Lay there for a few minutes whining, and then run back and pull on my leg and run back up there. And then the old hackles on the back of your neck started standing up, and I could hear them rustling around all around us. So I thought, okay, she must be time for bed. And as I started, as just, a shoveled trail through the snow heading to the little cabin. So you kind of carrying a 2-year-old trying to figure out how to navigate this little trail and get into the little cabin. So anyway, I got the boy inside, and then I realized that I had neglected to stock up the wood for the evening, which was over at the kitchen area. So I went back over there, and in the meantime, 2 coyotes got between me and the cabin, and one was actually scratching at the door, and if I was smart maybe at the time, maybe not smart, I don't know, but the Bouvier was inside the cabin, so I didn't even have a decoy or a defense mode there. Anyway, I gathered up an armload of wood, and I grabbed the axe that was in the stump by the cabin, by the kitchen, and made my way back to the sleeping quarters. Got inside, and even though I had to pee real bad, I was not stepping foot outside that door again. It was sort of a restless night with pacing around outside, and a Bouvier, sitting at the door wanting to get out there to do some sort of protective moves. I'm not real sure. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting evening, and even as the daylight came, I was still not really sleeping that well, just because you're in a little shack kind of thing that, well, maybe more worried about my dog getting out, but it wouldn't have took much to get a hold of us sitting around the fire if it wasn't really for the dog that defended us. And that dog made it for quite a few years after that, but every time we were in the bush there, he would never ever leave the kids' sides if they wandered more than about 10 feet away from us. Anyway, that's my story, and I I have a few more, and I'll probably share them at another time. Thank you. Have a good day.